whatever we were working on.
I know. I mean, I was afraid you were going to take over the project. I guess you did actually. Okay, so this is kind of like, and it's kind of, this is the since we didn't know what the hell we were doing, the idea was you just do all these prototypes, crank stuff out, play it, evaluate it, see if it's any good. So, and it was like, improve it, play it, say what's wrong with it, what's good, what's bad, iterate, and then repeat until either the game is fun or you are fired. So,
I mean, it was totally the opposite of any other game company I'd worked for after that, where it was designed all top-down, storyboards and stuff. And you were just like, let's try this out. Ooh, this is fun. What can I do with it? It was that kind of evolution.
Yeah, which I guess really doesn't work in a big company. We just got lucky.
You can't coordinate.
We got lucky. Okay, so since we only had programmers, we didn't have. I thought this art is pretty good. Where's that art? That's pretty cool shit. Where's that?
I wasn't sure which of this.
Man.
I wanted you to look through this.
Yeah,
and
this is
tell me
the
if any of this was.
I think this is
because there may be stuff from other games.
Maybe, yeah. But anyway, that's some cool art. But we didn't have any artists, so we had program art, and so basically the whole emphasis on the design was utilizing programming, utilizing physics, utilizing math and
interaction with the controller.
Interaction, not scripting things, not creating. I remember we were actually we were killing the enemies, like the landers. I think the first enemy was, and we're shooting them, and then and every other game like Space Invaders, they've made like this little blam thing. I call it a blam. It's like a little star-shaped character. Like when you kill something, it's like boom, it's dead. It's like kind of like the cartoons or something like that. Blam, and we put it in there, and it's like, that kind of sucks.
I remember exactly.
I did the
what
plan.
happened that time.
I did the
plan. It was the first thing you asked me to do on the project was to do a three-frame burn up a ship animation, and you showed me the Galaxia do something like that.
Right.
And I was like, that's boring. I don't want to do that.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah. So we realized like these canned effects. Not only they take a lot of time to do all the artwork and everything, they actually they weren't that cool. So and I guess the other is the interesting thing, like the terrain in Defender. We didn't have a lot of memory, and I remember Sam came up with this thing where it actually just used. He found a cool random number that made that terrain, and so just like as a seed, he just threw that in a random number generator, and that.
Just one bit deltas.
Yeah.
Just up or down. Because it compresses into the least amount of space.
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting. But it turns out, random numbers are just like so cool. I mean, it is. It's like, look at all the people in Las Vegas. These people are like, they think they're playing a slot machine. It is. We're anthropomorphize everything, and so by having the tweaking in the right random patterns, they seem intelligent, and it's a lot better than writing AI.
But we didn't use the random pattern. We ended up replacing it with a.
Oh, you're talking about the terrain.
The terrain.
Yeah, I know. We
But the random.
Can't we just tell a good story?
Okay. It started out pretty good. Yeah. It just the problem is we couldn't get any big mountains.
Right. Was that it?
It was too big.
Yeah. Reversion to the mean, man. That's good. Okay. All right. So the first Defender game. I don't know when you came on the project, Sam. I don't know if you were part of this 1.0 or not. But it really sucked. I don't think you were.
I remember you showed it to us.
Okay. And this was basically Defender Invaders. I wish I had a picture of this.
Yeah.
But it was basically you were a space invaders, but the ship had like 3 guns on it.
It was I thought it looked more like Missile Command or something that with the bases or something.
Okay. Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe there was some Missile Command in there too. And we shot these three rockets up, and we worked on it a couple weeks, and the game was bad. It's like as I recall now, it's like you could probably take any bad game and perfect it and make a good game, but just didn't have the attention span, you know? It was just like you got too depressed.
Yeah.
You know, it did it's just like, this game just is horrible. So that was Defender 1.0. But it was like, we had to do more than just clone a game. I guess that was the lesson, you know? So then Defender 2.0, which was, we call it Rasteroids. You remember that one? Remember Rasteroids?
Vaguely.
Okay, yeah. And it was like, rocks are cool. I think Asteroids had just come out at this time, and it was like, this is cool, man. Like, breaking rocks and blowing stuff up. And like this thrust fire, the Space Wars type control. And it was kind of cool shooting rocks, but then it was like, after you shot the rocks.
This was pretty short-lived, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think the first one we worked on for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I don't remember this one that well.
Okay, so Rasteroids. And there were some rocks hung around for a while, a couple of months, you know, and finally we got rid of them. Okay, so somehow we got the third prototype and sanded down the terrain. And I remember, for some reason, the idea of the name was around for a long time. So the name actually preceded the game. And it was Defender, and we realized, you know, you need something to defend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you need to defend something. So, so we put these little astronaut guys, like little purple guy there, and I remember I spent like 3 weeks, and they actually walk around the terrain.
Yeah.
You never notice this when you're playing. You know, when you're flying at 100 miles an hour, you never notice it. But I spent a couple weeks making them walk around and everything.
Very cool, by the way.
And I remember management came down. This was, I think, July or something. We only had 2 or 3 months left in the project.
Yeah.
And management came down and said, hey, what's going on? You know, where's the cool stuff? And I go, dude, I got these cool little men that walk around. You know, like, you're defending them, man. It's like, they walk around. And they was just like, oh, fuck, you know. and, you know, they was like, where's the, you know, I think I like cleaned out my desk.
You did. You boxed your books before the show, before you went to the show.
But somehow, you know, we got around, it's like, okay, I don't know what, somehow we got the scanner going so you could see where the astronauts were. And then it was like, somehow, I don't know how this happened, but it's like, you know, a game needs a conflict. Finally dawned on us, you know, you need a conflict, you know, you need like an enemy and a good guy and a bad guy. And so we put in these lander guys, little green guys. And then, and I remember originally we just flew left to right. And it seemed like that was fine, you know. I mean, why revert, you know, why go backwards? But Steve Ritchie, who was the pinball guy, you know, he was so used to telling me what to do. He came and played the game. He goes, man, no, you gotta reverse, man. It's like, you gotta reverse. I'm like, dude, why? You know, it's like, it's a pain in the ass. Do you know how much code that is? You know, and somehow I don't know, talked about it. So we did the reverse thing, which was pretty cool. Although I guess really, if you're a really good player, you probably don't reverse that much. So I think I was right. Okay, so this is kind of the control panel, how it evolved, and then you know, playing. And this is really weird. This is like a Stargate control panel with a Defender artwork. I don't know. This is on the internet somewhere.
It's a multi-voice.
Okay, multi-voice. Okay, so yeah, this button. Ignore this button. Anyway, so and then somehow along the line, I've read some article about smart bombs. They had like these laser-guided bombs, you know, and it sounded like this is cool, you know. And so I was trying to implement these bombs that would go and seek out the enemy and you know, chase them down and do all this stuff, and like that was a lot of code.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a lot of code. It was like, you know what? Let's just blow everything up. You know? It's like, so that you know, it's amazing how something.
And that really killed the explosion, the timing, because the cycles. The
Right,
cycles,
right.
So the game would slow down, but that added some drama to it.
Right, yeah, that slow-mo, you got a
Yeah,
slow-mo.
slow motion, yeah, it wasn't intentional.
It was a cool slow-mo routine.
I had a cycle through the explosions.
Okay, so as kind of doing the game, the idea was as we had landers and astronauts and stuff, and it was like we need more stuff, you know, and it's easier to just make another stupid enemy than to make really actually things that are smart and sophisticated. So I was like, let's make more stupid enemies, and so the idea was each enemy would have a different personality, dispatch, movement, offense, defense, so you know, aversive behavior, whatever. Okay. Okay. So then here's the guys. Yeah, the astronauts need something to defend there, and I guess later in the game was kind of the cool thing of rescuing the astronaut, adding some kind of risk reward thing, and that was kind of cool. Okay, here's the landers. Kidnap the astronauts. Radiata. Okay. Mutants. Okay, this is cool. I found this on the web. That's actually the color codes.
Yeah.
Okay, if you know, and it was like 3 was green and 7 was brown. And that's actually how we typed the graphics in.
Yeah.
We remembered the numbers and we just like typed them in. That was a mutant. This is like, there's like 3D Defender artwork on here. So this is the bombers, and the bombers are just kind of like this pain in the ass thing that get in your way and lay minefields and kind of break up your journey. This was kind of a neat enemy kind of a spawning enemy, and it was kind of inspired by. We had a lot of problems with bog in the game, and so how to have enemies in a wave, but they don't show up immediately. So it's like, well, have something else that contains the enemy, then you shoot it, and the enemies pop up. And so that was, it had like some cool sinusoidal motion and stuff. This is the Vader, and I think that's pretty good artwork. I mean,
That's the beta.
that's pretty good. I don't know if you guys want to see this, but
I'll
yeah.
spread this out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's good artwork. This is the 3D Vader. But the beta was really key to the game because as you kill all the enemies, you have to keep the tension going. You have to, and normally the tension will, as you kill things, you have less and less tension in a wave because there's less challenge. So it becomes very boring. And so by bringing these guys, which were probably, they were the really assholes. Bringing these guys out, and the other cool thing is they were like a relative. They were relative, so they would take your velocity and add it to their velocity, and you know, kind of
They could go faster than anything.
yeah. And so it really was kind of, it's hard to outrun them, but you kind of flip around and do that. But they were an awesome enemy. So the enemy shots. The cool thing about the enemy shots is they were both absolute shots and relative shots, and that was kind of really what made it cool.
That's to your speed, relative.
Exactly. So basically, either shoot where you are, and there was always a random dispersion about that point. So it always was interesting, because if you shoot exactly where the player is, if he moves, it's gone, you know. But if you have a random thing, he can move into it. And then the relative thing basically computes where the player will be, you know, a second from now when the shot is there.
I think you just use the position and they add the player's velocity.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It was a pretty.
But it worked.
It works. Yeah.
But
No counting.
But with the two of them, it
Yeah.
really made it much harder. And they shot both of them.
Yeah, so you never knew what kind of shot you were going to get, and it was pretty. That kind of really made it the relative.
No,
shit
it was brilliant.
That was evil. That was evil.
Yeah.
And then here's an interesting thing. It's kind of like the Defender the rules of the Defender universe. It's like, first of all, ships don't collide with the terrain. You're like, and I remember we actually tried that. And like, but the terrain, it was just, it was like, it wasn't fun. It was like, you're flying around, you just get blow up. You know, it's like, okay, screw that. You know, like.
Well, that's what I think every game at the time had. You know,
Yeah. So it was kind of like, okay, forget that physics. It's like, you know, a cool looking background. then the gravity doesn't affect anything but the astronauts and it kills them. You know?